I'm going to be doing a beginner's step-by-step guide on how to play Palworld. I'm actually going to be doing it through a dedicated server, so I'm going to be doing that through here under Join Multiplayer Game. Yeah, here we go. Should be fun. So I have about 180 hours total in this game so far. And I've broken quite a lot of things. I've had a lot of glitches and a lot of other things happen. So I'd say I have a little bit of experience playing the game. And I think one of the biggest things I'm going to go over too is going to be how to build the bases. That seems to be something that people really like to do. And I've kind of figured out all the kinks and all the different things issue-wise with the game as far as building a base. And once we get started, I'll go through that and go over all that stuff when the game decides to load. All right, so this is going to be the character selection screen. So you just pick any name you want. Confirm. I always go into the presets, and this is actually my favorite, so I'm going to just go straight into this one. Let's click the body size, change skin color. Let's see. Which one do I like? That one's a little bit too dark. I think I like this one. So I get the skin color. It's so ridiculous with these torso sizes. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. Arm sizes. That should be good right about there. Make the legs just a little bit smaller. Okay, that looks good. So for face, these eyes are kind of cool. I'm going to keep that. And then let's see. What's this one? I'll choose that one. And let's see, eye color. Actually, the eye color is not going to matter because of the one that I chose. And then let's see, eyebrows. We're going to do this greenish color. Let's go under hair. This is actually my favorite hairstyle, so I'm going to just keep this one. Let's see, and then just go under voice. And this should be good enough. Looks good to me. Let's go ahead and start. So here we go. Beginning of this is so funny. So you may actually see some of my kids playing on the game. Both of the kids play the game, so they're going to already be on this server. So if you happen to see them, that's why. And some other people that I know as well. But I figured I would start this from scratch to give people that are still new to the game or just trying to learn things to be able to show them some tips and tricks. So here we go. All right. So right off the bat with the map, my favorite place to start, I've tried every area, honestly, from the very beginning. I've tried multiple times, and for the best one to start with that has the most resources and the most pals to get right in the beginning, and the best place to start a base at is going to be this one right here, the Windswept Hills Plateau of Beginnings. So let's go ahead and pick that one. Alrighty. So the first thing is, these are the best things to do, by the way, is these fast travel points. It makes it so much faster to get around. So when I first started this, I started my base over in this area over here where these columns and stuff are. But it was hard to really build anything over there. So I kind of decided to move my base somewhere else. When you talk to this person for the first time, the expedition survivor, they'll give you like a, just some wood or whatever. All right, so the first place I like to go to is right over here. So before I actually do anything with any of the catching any pals, I'm just going to collect a few resources. Some eggs, some berries, because you're going to need those later. Let's see, let's collect these berries. Oh, and we leveled up already. I'll go over technology points in just a second after we collect a few things. Because I'm going to go straight to going to the location where I'm going to build the first base. And at the top right-hand corner, you have the tutorial, which is pretty nice. It goes through a pretty good beginner setup of what they want you to do to try to learn the interface, things like that. I'm currently using a controller, so the settings for the PC is going to be a little bit different if you're using a keyboard and a mouse. But I like the controller because it allows me to dodge and move around and stuff like that a lot quicker. Okay, so we're almost to the location that I think, in my opinion, is the best for the very start of the first base. Let's head over here, collecting all these things. These pals are going to be done here pretty soon. So this is good to have here, this Palladium fragment. These are really good to collect as much as possible because you're going to need these for creating the actual pal spheres. So let's head over here. So this area here is going to be the best place to start the first base location. And I'm actually going to show you before I actually start building anything specifically, because I actually found out that building the actual foundation for the area is easier to do first. And I'll explain that in just a second. So here, let's just go ahead and go through the tutorial at the top. So it says open the menu. So we'll open the menu up. It wants us to go to, let's see. It wants us to go to the options and then survival. So let's head over to options, survival guide. And then it basically just goes through all the different things that explains parts of the game, you know, what the controls are, about pals, building, you know, all the different things you can do and the buttons you can use, things like that. So it's all a lot of really helpful information. So the first thing it's wanting me to build is a primitive workbench. Now, before I build anything, let me see if we even have the ability to do it yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the workbench out of my way for when I'm actually going to build my actual base. Because if I do it beforehand, stuff's going to get in the way. I'm going to have to destroy things, and I can end up messing it up and making it a lot worse in the long run. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just create the workbench here. Start crafting the workbench. Alrighty. So now it's asking me open technology screen from the menu and unlock the PAL sphere. So let's see, it'll go to technology. The PAL spheres are going to be in here. Also the PAL box and other things. I like to just unlock a lot of this stuff and get it out of the way ahead of time. These are going to be all the things that I will actually use. So I know I'm already going to be using most of these. I'm also going to start off with the old bow, the arrow, the shoddy bed, and then the cloth, and then the straw PAL bed. I don't necessarily use the repair kit because even when raids show up, and we'll probably run into that later, I've never actually had to use it as of yet. I'm sure later down the road you'll actually need to use it, but as of right now, I'm not going to need to use it. So now it wants us to craft a PAL sphere, which we can do through the workbench. So I already had collected the Palladium fragment for the PALs, so I already have that there, and you just need some wood and stone. So you just go up to the workbench, click select recipe, PAL sphere, and then craft. And then now we have a PAL sphere. Alrighty, so we'll go catch our first PAL. I'm actually going to start off with well, there's a lot of cats, so I think I'm just going to start off with the chicken here. So I'm going to start attacking the chicken, get his health really, really low before we throw a PAL sphere at him. I've noticed the lower that the HP is of the PAL, the easier it is to catch them with the PAL sphere. So it's so funny just punching the chicken. So, alright, so after we do that, now we're gonna, now we have two chickens, so now we gotta dodge the one chicken. Oh, and I just wasted the PAL sphere. Alright, so let's try that again. So now I have to kill the chicken. And I should have crafted more than one. So let's sometimes it never goes the way you want it to go. So let's try that again. So here we go. Actually, we have the ability to craft a stone pickaxe. So instead of just punching stone with our hand, let's start off with the stone pickaxe. Alright, so I got my stone pickaxe, so let's get some more Palladium. That way we can craft a few more of the PAL spheres. Alright, so now we have the PAL spheres. We'll go in here and craft a few more. Alright, so PAL spheres. I'm going to just try to do 2 this time. That way if I miss, I'll be good to go. All right, so let's try this again. So let's go find a chicken or a sheep. And I'll go over the pals a little bit later on which ones will be good to get first. So let's see. Let's go over to this guy. And we'll go ahead. I have to wait till the bar goes back up. Okay, all right, here we go. So we're going to catch the lamb first. If he doesn't run away. He's glitching out for some reason. That's always fun for that to happen. All right, let's try to catch him. Here we go. 100%. That makes it easier. All right, great. All right, now so it's asking me to build a PAL box in this open space over here. So, what I'm actually going to do first is I'm going to build me the stone pickaxe. So before I do that, I'm going to have to actually go collect more stone. So maybe I can come over here, grab some stone. Not with my hand. And collect some stone. Here we go. There we go. That should be enough. Should be enough stone. Here we go. Let's head back over to here. And basically what I'm doing is I'm going to actually build the foundation for where the location, where the base is going to be first. That way, and I'll explain that in just a second. So here, let's chop down some wood here. Also get fiber too. You'll need that later on for making other materials. So we're gonna need. I'm gonna collect quite a decent amount of wood. And if you notice too, I'm starting to get heavy because of the amount of materials that I'm doing. And I'll go over the stats here in just a second. Once it starts getting a little bit more full. Because I just have basically some tips and tricks on the stats themselves to kind of help the game be a little easier to manage when you're starting from the very beginning. And obviously your stamina runs out from hitting up the axe. So just keep this going. I think after this we should have enough. We're also almost full. So stop recording. Okay, yeah, so we're good. All right. Okay, so before I start building, I'm going to go ahead and actually open up the menu, and I'm going to go to stat points. So for me, it's going to be RS. It's down here at the bottom right-hand corner. It says Enhanced Stats, so I'm going to click that. Now, the ones I start with the most, or with first, is I always start with the weight. I usually do like a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 when it comes to the stats. So the only ones I focus on is weight, health, and stamina. The other three, I've never really had to do it because you'll have pals later on that will help with work speed. And they can help with attack and defense. So those, to me, are not as needed as much as these are. So for now, I'm just going to do weight up to 2 times and then go back. Okay, so now we're going to actually start building the area. Now, the problem that I ran into is, let's say you build, for instance, a foundation here. And we're just going to just stick it right here. Okay. Now, the problem that I ran into is when you get to the time to building the PAL box. If you build this PAL box and you haven't built things around it yet, it'll create this box. So here, I'll show you. So when you build it, it has this blue box, this area box. And if you haven't finished building everything around it, it will not allow you to build within that location. So if I go in here and I try to put something here, if you can see it here, it says too close to a special boss or facility. So it won't allow me to build in that section. So you want to try to build what you need before you even put the base PAL, before you put the PAL box there. So I'm going to actually remove the PAL box. And like I said, I'm going to start just building out the foundation first before I actually put the PAL box. Now we are going to be running out of time. So if you notice down at the bottom here, we have the sun where it shows what the time of day it is. We do need to try to build some kind of cover or have a fireplace put down before we get started, so that we don't freeze, because we'll start freezing and start losing health. Now, when I build, you have the option to build individually by pressing X, or you can build continuously by pressing Y. And that's what I'm doing currently. Is I'm just going through, pressing Y, and doing it that way. Now, I'm going to leave this section over here open because this is where I'm actually going to be putting a lot of the stuff for my pals. And we'll also be building this into 2 stories so that we have a lot more we can do with the space. Because if you try to just do everything on the first floor, you'll start running into space issues where you're not going to have enough room to build everything that you need. So I try to stay in this general area over here and then leave all that open over there. So now I'm not going to build too much more right off the bat because I am going to want to put the pal box down, and then I'm going to check the radius to make sure it doesn't clip anywhere. What I've noticed is if you put the pal box in a certain area, and for instance, if it goes in the water too much or up on the mountains or something like that, the pals will start glitching out. They get confused. And also, when I start doing the 2-story, I'll talk about that as well, because sometimes they'll get a little bit confused if they have to go on the 2nd floor. So I'll go over that shortly. So, and I love that this chicken is just chilling in the tree right here. He's literally stuck inside the tree. I love this game. It's so fun. All right. So now we have this part set up. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and create the actual PAL box. So now that we have the PAL box, we can actually put it in here, for instance. So I'm going to actually face, let's see, I think I'm going to face this way. So I'm going to put it, let's see. It doesn't really matter where you put this one. You just want to make sure it's not in the way of the rest of the stuff that you're going to build later on down the road. You also want to make sure that you're not going to build anything near it, because like I said, where that PAL box ends up at, you're not going to be able to change anything else around it. So once you build it here, anything inside this blue box, you can't put anything here. So just keep that in mind when you're building the PAL box. All right, so now that we have it, let's just go ahead and build it. And the best pals to have in the very beginning, I can go over that as well. And we can go over that as we start building more things. So now that we have the box built, it's going to access the PAL box and then summon a PAL to our base. So the first one we're going to add is the sheep. Oop, sorry, I got to put the sheep down here. And now we have our sheep. Now I do want to go check really quick and make sure to see where the outline is. So there'll be a blue line, as you can see here, that outlines where the line for the PAL box is. So it's going to be a little bit in the water, and that's okay, because eventually when I start building out the ground, I'm going to make it so that it doesn't have too much over there, where it's not going to go in the water too much. Like, I'll build the actual base around that area so that they don't go in the water. And actually, I think I'm going to move it over just a little bit more to the left, because it's too far into the water. And like I said, I've had issues with that in the past where it just doesn't work right because it's in the water. So it looks like I got to gather some more materials, and I'm going to need a fire. So let's go ahead and do a fire real quick. Because like I said, as soon as that sun down there turns into a moon, and I'm not wearing any clothing yet, so I haven't made any, it's going to start freezing me. So I don't want that to happen, and I don't want to die. And I also forgot to mention that when you bring in a PAL, as you can see in the right-hand corner where it says base info, it says PALs without beds will get stressed. So basically, we need to build a bed for the PAL. And it actually tells you to do that, just not yet. So we'll do that in just a second. So let me finish. Let's go ahead and put the fire down. We'll put it right about here so it's out of the way and not too close to the... And it's pretty cool, too. Certain PALs will allow you to, or will help you with certain things, too. And like I said, I'll go over some of that stuff later. So for now, we're just going over how to get the base set up and how to get started with this here. So, all right. So let's finish building this out here. I'm going to build one more. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and destroy this really quick. And I'm going to just move it over just a little bit, because I don't like where it is. So if you want to destroy something, whether it's a base or anything else, you go into the building and it goes under disassemble mode. Now it's going to say, hey, do you want to destroy this? So it's going to get rid of my PAL, and it's going to put the PAL back into my inventory. But I'm going to move that PAL box over just a little bit more. Here, we'll put it right about, face this way. Put it right about here. Let's move over just a little bit. There we go. Put it right about here. And like I was saying, if you get too far away from it, it's going to freeze. So take care of this really quick. I think this should be good. Now, unfortunately, we have to wait it out until daytime. Unless we build a bed, but we haven't gotten that far yet, so we'll have to just wait it out and build and freeze a little bit. So I think we'll just have to go from there and freeze. Now we are getting hungry down there at the bottom. So to eat some food, you can go into your inventory, and we'll go into cooking and stuff later. But for now, you can just go in and eat what you have. All right. Let's see. All right. So, like I said, now that I have this over here, let's go see if it's still in the water. Let's go back over here. Okay. So it's not as much in the water as it was before. So that's what I was trying to go for. The less it's in the water, the better. And I'll be building a wall once we get a high enough level. I'll be building a wall all the way around this just to keep from raiders from coming in. So, let's see here. All right. So, from now this point over, I'm going to go back in under foundation, and we're going to continue to build this foundation out. So, go through here. I'm just going to keep an eye on my health while I'm doing this. And again, we have to get some materials. This will get a little easier later, because we'll set up little spots for pals to go in and automatically mine and do wood and stuff like that, so we make it significantly easier to do all of this. So, here we go. But yeah, so there's just a lot of things that I've learned from over time, because I would build a base and it wouldn't work right, or I'd build it and they'd get stuck, and they will still get stuck, and I'll go over that later on how to the best way to fix that once we start really getting this going. So yeah, so what I'll do, let's go back in, build foundation. I'm just going to keep building. So for me, I know a lot of people want to have the grass, and you can do that if you want to. I like having this because it allows me to all right, so it's not going to let us build here because this is in the way, so let's move this. Let's get this out of our way. I'm going to build it almost all the way over to this wall over here. I apologize, it's really hard to see because it's dark outside. So let's get this out of the way. But I always like to get the foundation down first. It's so much easier to have the foundation down before you actually really start getting into even collecting pals, because that way you'll already have the base ready and set up and good to go, so that you can, as soon as you have the pals here, everything will be ready and set up, and it makes it just so much easier instead of having to run back and forth and do all that other stuff. So I found this to be a lot easier to literally just set it up right away, and then you don't have to worry about it. All right, so let's keep going here. All right, so we're getting closer to the walls now, so I don't think I'll be able to... Yeah, so you don't want to... Once you start getting into the walls, you don't want to intersect the walls. Now, we can still extend it out this way, so I'm going to go here, here. Yeah, so we can still do this. I am just running out of wood so fast. I need to just collect a bunch of wood, and then I can come back. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. And then once we get the foundation going, we'll put up a few walls, and then we'll leave it at that for right now. That way we always have it, and then we'll work on the second floor after we start doing a few more things. And like I said, everybody does it differently. This is what's worked for me. I made it to level 40, and pretty much traveled all of the map almost, even all the way up to the mountains to the very, very top. So this is something that I've tried, and it's worked for me. So here we go. Let's see. I'm starting to get full now. Well, it's a good thing I have stat points, so I can go in because I'm full again. Go in here, add one more or two more to my weight, and then after that, that's when I start adding other things. I'll go in and add to my health and my stamina, because your stamina is going to be important later on. Because stamina obviously has a lot to do with once you start being able to glide or flying on pals and things like that. So it actually gets really important later on. All right. So my health is getting a little bit too low now, so I'm going to come over here. I'm also going to eat some food. Just hang out just for a second. It's almost daytime, which is great, because then we can really start building and getting into this. So let's come back over here. I'm okay health-wise for now. So let's see. I'm going to build this way. All right. So I'm not going to go any further than that. I mean, I could go over one more. But it's really, really, really close to the water. Let me see. Will it let me build all the way over? Yeah. So once I start doing that, I'll just leave it. I won't build over anymore. But I will build over a little bit further back. So, and what's cool is you can actually build around the tree, and then you can chop it down later. So that's what I'm doing now here. Is it going to get in the way if I go to build? So I'm going to put this one down really quick and see if it'll get in the way of my wall. If I put my wall up, is it going to let me build a wall there? Will it? Oh, okay, good, it does. So that's as far over as this way. I don't want to put it in the corner. Because if you put it in the corner, here, I'll just show you, for example. If you build a wall here, it's not going to let you put, if you build the ground here, it's not going to let you put a wall there. So it's a pain in the butt. So there's no reason to even have it there. So I'm just going to do that. All right. So this is pretty much big enough. I mean, you don't really need to go over that very much more than this if you want, unless you want to. For me, that's good enough for me. So now we can just put up one set of walls. So we'll start with the wall here and just work our way down. Now it's not gonna let me put a wall here because there's a tree in my way. So let's get the tree out of the way. Alright, so let's see here. Let's go in, put the wall, put another wall. I don't usually like to waste space, but I'll end up putting a wall there so that the pals can't get back there. And now for the sides, I like to make it where you can see through. That's just something I like to do. So I go here, here, here. There we go. Yeah. So I'll just build this all the way over. Now for the front, I like to leave it open. A lot of people like to make doors and things like that. I don't do that because some of the pals that I end up getting are very, very large. And they get confused when there's things colliding with them. So I don't do that. I just leave it open in the front. You can close an area, like if, for instance, if where your bed goes or something like that, you can totally close the area if you want to. But I'm not going to do that. All right. So now that we have that set up, it asked us to build, to level up our PAL area. As you can see under capturing and increasing your player level and things like that. So actually, before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and actually open up one of these sides. There we go. So that pals can get in and out of here. Because I may use something over here. Actually, I forgot that I need this area open over here. Oh, no. Okay, there's enough room. I'm going to use this to put like the farm area for the pals later. Because you're going to need that later to be able to do certain things. So I'll just leave that the way it is. All right. All right, now, so let's go ahead and let's see. Let's go back to deploying a PAL again. Now that we have that in the proper position. Put the PAL down. And he wants a bed. So where I usually have been putting the beds is I'll put them over here in this corner. So here, we'll start with the bed. Put the bed right here. For now. Eventually, we're going to need to make a lot more beds because we're going to have a lot more pals. All right, great. Now we got that set up. All right, so this is obviously the first floor. We're eventually going to get to the second floor area, and then we're also going to start building a lot of other things as well. So we're going to go through this step by step and get it all taken care of. All right. Now that I have this set up here, I'm going to go ahead and actually start building my work chests or my workbenches. So for now, we're going to use a primitive workbench because eventually we're going to need the other workbenches as well. And since I have other people that are going to be on the server with me, I'm going to build more than one of these. That way it doesn't get bogged down. And when on your later on down the road, if you're wanting to do more than one thing at a time, you can have a pal working on one and you can work on the other. It makes it a lot easier as far as time goes. So I'm going to go ahead and build another one. And then we also need a repair bench. A repair bench will be good for repairing things later on. So eventually we're going to replace the workbenches that we're currently using with a better workbench, but we can get into that later. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make a second part to this video because obviously this video is quite long. If you like what I've had in the video so far, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video and turn on post notifications so anytime I post a new video, you can receive information from there and I'll send it to you. And so that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video and I'm gonna create a part 2. Bye.